Hey everybody, how you doing? Zomo here. Hey, I just want to give you updates of what's going on. I know we haven't done one for a while now. I've been giving you updates on regarding the epidemic or pandemic that's been happening right now. Today is August the 11th, 2020, and what you can see, the maps here is currently what's going on. The very top is the totals globally of the pandemic that's happening, and then you can see on top of me right here is the totals of U.S. And then Brazil and then India below it and stuff like that. So it looks pretty pretty intense of everything that's happening here. See if I can get the map to go down on there. So, and then bottom here are earthquakes, currently earthquakes that are happening as we speak. There's been some earthquake risings on different places that's been happening. One in North Carolina. They haven't had one in a long time. They said about 100 years, according to this article. And then there's a rising up in the Salton Sea, which is near the San Diego area, the across the border, and San Andreas. So you got a map here of current earthquakes that's happening. Here on top here is actually the current pandemic that's happening. As you can see in New York, there they just had two new cases there, and then District of Columbia, 74 updates there, and then South Carolina, say 42 second confirmed. Okay, so and then Alabama, there's looks like there's a lot of them. Yeah. So, and then Texas, and then we got here Arizona, 1,406 new cases that are happening there. No, sorry, 79 new cases, and then total of, hospitalized. So the numbers are going up, and then California, new cases here. We currently don't have updates on Arizona. Let's see, we've got here. This is supposed to be, I believe, Washington, new cases there. I can't see what that is, but it's up there in the States. So these are current, what's happening. But as we know about all the cases that are happening, it's still going on. It's, I think the last time we covered it was in May, and it, whole shutdown happened in March in the U.S. here, and it's still happening here. Now we're in August, and we're getting close to the election in November, not too long from now, and but it's still here. It's happening. But today I wanna brief you on stories of what's going on right now. So just bear with me for a second here. Bear with me for a second. So this is an article just about a couple days ago, not too long ago. North Carolina hit by a 5.1. Originally, I believe it was a 5.5 or so. Then they downgraded to a 5.1 magnitude. And they stated on the article here, powerful earthquake since 100 years. Another article says 104 years. So North Carolina, from all places, major, 5 point major for North Carolina, because North Carolina isn't known for earthquakes. They're more for tornadoes and such, hurricanes, tornadoes, that kind of stuff, and but not earthquakes. So this is surprising there. So Um, it's something that's actually, I believe that's gonna progress. So they've been having some aftershocks on there. So once these things happen, folks, is it just opens up a crack, and then you start having more tremors around there. So I know I've been covering in some of the short clips, short stories of other places having earthquakes like Tennessee, and another place was in Texas, a whole bunch in Texas and Oklahoma and that kind of area. So it's near the new Mandarin fault line, but this is breaking on the North Carolina, so that's why I'm stressing on that. So if you, and in fact, I know a lot of people who moved there because they wanted to get out of California and go into North Carolina. And now they're, now you got earthquake that's happening there. Also, in the beginning of the year, I believe we had in Idaho some earthquakes that popped up, and so now they've been having like frequent aftershocks and little quakes here and stuff like that. So that has springed up there in Idaho, and then not too long ago we had some in Salt Lake City, Utah, which triggered some earthquakes there. So they've been having some tremors there. So that's as the Bible says, we're having earthquakes in diverse places and strange places, and sure enough, we are having earthquakes in strange places. Speaking about more earthquakes, also the Alaska, as you can see here, they've been having some quakes there. Alaska is also known for earthquakes there, so they always have some kind of earthquakes here, sometimes big ones and sometimes little ones there, but there's always activity happening in there as well. And then Japan and as well, earthquakes happening in there, but not in North Carolina and stuff like that. Also, I want to share this one article very quickly on this. This is recently that happened, I believe, yesterday and today. So it's still happening. Earthquakes on there. So these things are, these things are just like happening everywhere and stuff. So, but what it says here, let me pull it up here. It didn't pull up. How do you like that? I can pull that up there. Okay, there it is. So this is recently on earthquakes. Speaking about earthquakes now, the Salton Sea. The Salton Sea is near San Diego, and the borderline of we call it between the San Andreas Fault, and let me see if I can get a picture of the Salton Sea for you. Just bear with me for a second. So you can see the Salton Sea earthquakes there happening there. As you can see, it's in the San Diego area, but there's been a lot of sparks here on this area here on the Salton Sea. So they just had one that was a magnitude 4.6 magnitude. They said the earthquake 6.6, I'm sorry, 4.6, sorry, 4.6 under the Salton Sea. So under that's the key port. It says under the Salton Sea. And it said it began 6:33 a.m. with a 3.2, and then there was a 4 point that struck at 9:03, and it says the largest one was a 4.6, which was recorded at 8:56, sorry, in the Salton Sea. So there's some activities happening on there. Also, I just want to mention the Salton Sea is also known as, they call it a volcanic mud volcano or something like that. So there's some volcanic activity that's happening there. So I wonder if that's has to do with some of the earthquakes that are happening there. So um, a few years back, there was reports of the same area, the Salton Sea, and a lot of people have reported stories on there regarding of the smell of sulfur in the area around the San Diego area. And so they were smelling this awful sulfur smell, and that indicated volcanic activity. I also mentioned about the Ridgecrest earthquake that happened last year, and it was around that area of volcanic, because I actually drove through that area before going to Mammoth, and there's a point where you go on a freeway or a highway on there and you can see it. It's called Volcanic Field or something like that, and so I know I covered a story regarding that, that it could be volcanic, and this is the same situation. What I'm feeling, my theory on that it could be volcanic, but it's also near the San Andreas Fault. So now there's a concern on that because the USGS is concerned about it causing a major earthquake, like a 7 point and up over that. Now, the San Andreas, as you know, major cities that are around that San Andreas Fault is San Francisco, Los Angeles, and San Diego. So down around that line there. So that brings a concern on that. So recently, this is recently what's happening in the Salton Sea. So that is a concern on there. So, and as we speak, there's still activities happening on there. So now they're saying that if the big one does happen, that the magnitude could be a 7.8 earthquake near the Mexican border to San Gabriel Mountains, which is LA County. And so you can imagine the devastation on there. Also toward Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino, and so forth, and Ventura. They say all the way up to Ventura. So that's not a good thing, but it's something to watch for. So, and as you know, now that we have that going on, but we also still have the Ridgecrest earthquake that's happening, and there's still tremors happening there and stuff. And then I haven't heard much about Utah stuff, but I know Utah had some stuff going on there. So now we have North Carolina. So wow, crazy stuff here happening, folks. Now in the North Carolina, you're going to hear that about that a lot because, like I said, it's the first time they've had some major stuff happening there. Mostly stories of hurricanes and stuff like that. So there's more I'd say reports and closer watch of the situation there. There's a recent article, actually this one of today, and they say that, let me see if I can pull that up for you on there. And they're saying that they saw some, or scientists is actually investigating activity that's happening in the, let's see if I get the map here. Let's see, it's not picking up there. Oh, okay, there it is. Okay, so what you see there, folks, is we're calling it a rare boomerang earthquake. And it says tracked across the Atlantic Ocean for the first time, shedding light on the devastation that could be. So underneath the Atlantic, there's an earthquake path that runs back and forth fast at fast rate, they say. So they've been tracking that on there. So um, it's just all these earthquakes are just popping up, you know. So under the Atlantic, there's some stuff. They said that in 1916, a team recorded a magnitude of a 7.1 earthquake along that place. It's they call it a um, Ronanchi fracture zone that runs in there. So it's let's see, I gotta show you this picture here. Let me see if I can get that for you. Very cool picture here, by the way. Shows you the graph. All right, I got it. Okay, so this is under the ocean that's happening. So this huge, wow, crack under the Atlantic Ocean. Wow. So this is in the sea. So, gosh, it's not a good thing because if that happens, it would cause major tidal waves and stuff. So this is something new that they're doing. They're checking it out and studying on these things that's causing these things. Booming sounds, you know, shaking. I know a couple during the days I've been hearing it and stuff like that. So I don't know if this has anything to do with it or what. But it says a boomerang. Try to get more information here for you guys. It says a boomerang earthquake is known as a back and forth super surge, meaning the fracture travels from the initial crack and then it goes running fast and fast speed. It says a large earthquakes are capable of destroying buildings, tsunamis, as we were just talking about. So, and then it says a successful recording was magnitude of a 7.1 earthquake back in August of August 29, 2016. Along that fracture, it says a 560-mile long fault line under the Atlantic Ocean near the equator between here. Now, here's the key part: between Brazil and Africa. So this is going around there underneath. So you can imagine what would happen on there. So we know that these things are happening, earthquakes and stuff. And I've covered about volcanoes too. So if you look in the channels, looking to see places like Yosemite and places like in other places I've been covering. Soon as volcano eruptions that are happening, I try to cover that for you guys right away and stuff. So this is what's happening right now as far as I call it the new trend thing beside the weather, the storm that we had, you know, with the hurricane and the cyclones and the weather patterns and a lot of floods we had earlier. We had these major floods that are happening also in the UK. Since we're talking about floods, there's reported of a major lightning. They call it a lightning warning, terrifying alert. That let's see here is energy in atmosphere in 10 years. I don't know what they call that, but a major lightning weather patterns that's going to happen. So I'll just cover that story as a separate storyline on there. But so the UK is having these major lightning storms that are going to happen. So this is near Dublin and Manchester and London and so forth. So a lot of weird weather happening beside the pandemic that's happening and stuff like that. So that's what's going on. We'll keep you posted regarding more stuff that's happening as well as we see those things. So definitely crazy stuff, huh? Now, speaking about also on earthquakes, I forgot to mention that there was a 5.1 earthquake that was near uh, Honduras. They call it Honduras, and that's near. Trying to find a location here. Honduras, yeah. So there was a 5.7 earthquake that happened there not too long ago. Let's see if I can get a closer view what that is of where this Honduras is. So Honduras is located, I believe, in El Salvador. Let's see here, in Mexico. So it's the other side. So this one here was down like somewhere here. So there was again a 5.7 earthquake on there. So I don't have that picture on there, but there was some tremors there happening there, and also down in a 5.5 earthquake, and they call it in Brazil, near Brazil. See if I can get the picture for you guys. Okay, so a 5.5 down underneath here. You can't see it on there, but it's there, right next to Brazil. Not in the west side, but more on the east side, so more down here kind of thing. So a 5.5 earthquake, and then within a couple hours, a 5.7 in Guatemala, right down here. So I don't know if that has to do with the the fault line earthquake that they're reporting today regarding that around this area. So, and also it's kind of funny that there's a lot of storms, hurricanes developing in this area. So I wonder if that has to do with also the the fault line, the earthquake, or the hurricane itself causing it by the waves and so forth. So there's some activities happening there. So a 5.5 happening near Brazil, earthquake on there near the mid-Atlantic ridge, they call it also. And then speaking about, let's say, in South Africa. Now, South Africa, I would say this one here is off equator, would be down here below. You can't see it. Let me see if I can pull that down. Oh, what do you know? You can. Okay, so this will be way down there. So this was going to be like down right here somewhere. So there was a 5.9. 5.9 is pretty big. So right there between Argentina and South Africa. So it's somewhere down here. So a lot of activities happening around here. You got a 5.9 not too long ago earthquake there. 5.7 near Brazil, and then a 5 point something I just said, I forgot, earthquake that's having a lot of fives for some reason. So 5.9 is probably the biggest one there on there. So there's definitely a lot of a lot of shaking on there as well. But then also, not too long ago, Puerto Rico has been active. 4.8. They had a 4.8 and then also a 5.5. So they had a 5.5, a 4.8 earthquake down in Puerto Rico. So Puerto Rico, there's a lot of shaking going on there. Plus, they've got all the storms happening as well. So, as I mentioned about these earthquakes, why it's important, and is because it seems like they kind of open up, and then they cause bigger factors. Let's put it back in place. So bigger factors. So now that we have one in the Salton Sea, so there's going to be some triggers happening there as well. So plus the other places and stuff like that. So where is it safe? Where is it good? Where can we go that's safe? You got Wyoming, but Wyoming's got the super volcano that's happening there. So That's another subject, but there's some earthquakes happening there as well, some minor earthquakes, and so there's a concern about that with Yellowstone. Um, so you got earthquakes, volcanoes, and storms happening right now. Currently, is the earthquakes that are happening. Very concerned on that. So just want to report you guys, let you know what's going on. Thank you for subscribing, listening, and like I said, I haven't done a live broadcast for a while, so I figure it's a good time to do it. September, coming up to September, definitely pray, and there's some stuff happening. There's a lot of events happening in September and stuff. And but anyways, thank you for listening, and we'll keep you informed with more things to come. Make sure you subscribe, and so you get the notification of current events that are happening. And you guys take care, and God bless you guys.